Hey folks, welcome back to Wise Guys Barbecue Corner. My name is Tommy and we're gonna do some beef Florentine pinwheel braciole. What we're using here is what's called flat meat. It's also referred to as a bavette steak. When you go into the markets, you'll see this cut as sirloin tips. It's what we use for the sirloin tips. What we're gonna do, we're gonna butterfly this piece of meat out. We're gonna be stuffing it with prosciutto, provolone cheese, and some spinach. Then we're gonna roll it all up, slice it, and we're gonna be heading out on the grill to fire them up on the grill. So what we're gonna do first, I'm gonna clean a little bit of this silverskin first. Square off the edges, the sides. Now what we have to do, we need to butterfly this out. That way we'll be able to open it up, spread it out. It'll be a much greater, wider surface so that we can stuff it. And how we're gonna do that, we're gonna come to the center and basically cut down at about a 45-degree angle. And you're gonna go right across the entire length of it. Once you've done that, you can begin to open that up. And we're gonna create a little pocket, and this is all gonna unfold as you'll see in a minute. Now just keep following that angle. And as you're doing it, you're going to pull with your thumb. Just keep separating it. And once you get to this point, you want to begin to keep the knife parallel to the cutting surface, or you'll end up cutting through the meat. And once we get it out, we can begin the best tool for this job is right here. You don't need any fancy gadgets. You don't need any mallets. Your fist will do just fine. The heel of your palm. Just keep pounding that until it spreads. It'll fit out. We've completed one side. Now we're going to flip it around and do the other side. Same process. Just keep following it. Once you've got that pocket opened up, just keep slicing away, pull, 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 and then start the same process over again. You can use two hands if you want. That'll make the job much quicker, much easier. As you can see, little by little, this is going to start to spread. You can use the back of your, just go at it, do whatever you want. Now we're going to stuff this, and to begin we want to flip this over because this is going to be the clear side. We want that on the surface facing out, so the fattier side will be on the middle, and this is where we're going to stuff it. Alright folks, well now we're ready to stuff this. First thing we want to do is season it. A little salt, kosher salt, some fresh cracked black pepper, all right, and the first thing I want you to do is we're going to do the prosciutto first, or prosciutto, and basically we just want to, we'll go crosswise like this, layer it all in there. Okay, now that we have, I will call it prosciutto, all laid down. Here in Rhode Island we call it prosciutto, but I'll refer to it as prosciutto from here on in. So we have all that, and next thing we want to do is get our provolone cheese, layer that on. All right, we got our cheese on, and the last item will be our spinach. Don't be shy with the spinach. You want to really pile it in, because as you're rolling it, this is going to all compact down. So don't be afraid to really mound it on. It's going to look like way more than you need, but this will all compress as we roll it up. All right. Now comes the fun part. Can be a little tricky at times, so take your time. Start at the end, and you don't need to go all the way to the end with the cheese. You want to leave a little kind of space so you can work with it to get this whole thing started. But as you're rolling it, you need to kind of press down what's in front of what you're rolling as well to compact that, and just keep working it. And as you're doing it, you want to really press. Don't be afraid to give a little pressure on this, because you want this to be very compact. You don't want a lot of airspace in there, because this is you want this to tighten up, because we're going to the grill with it. Keep working. Slide it towards you. Keep going. Getting there. And just kind of like press the spinach underneath as you're working it. And there we go. Basically, there's our braciole, beef jelly roll. Now we want to tie this up, basically maybe every 2 inches, and then we're going to slice down in between each string. To tie it, you want to always start in the middle first, and then it'll evenly disperse as you go out. So start in the middle, and then go on each side, and work your way to the outside. Don't start at the end, because it's not gonna work with you. It'll work for you starting in the middle. So we'll get our butcher's twine underneath, come up over. This is the butcher's knot I'm doing, so folks at home, you'll just have to do your own basic square knot type of thing. You need this to be compact, because as we slice it and open it up, if it's not tight, a lot of the insides fall out a little bit, and you don't want that. Okay, here's our next tie. Oop. Hey. All right, we're ready to slice. And like I said, when you're doing this, it's very important to keep things very tight, very compact. Roll it, lean against it, get a nice tight tie to it, and it'll keep everything nice and compact inside the roll as we're cutting it. So you're gonna lose the ends on these to make them all uniform slices. I'm sure you can throw these on the grill or fry them up in the pan, whatever you want, but don't waste that. There's some good stuff on there. So once you remove that, now we're gonna just cut in between each string very carefully. And there's number 1, 2, 3. Here's number 4. And last but not least, number 5. Like I said, you're gonna have a little excess from the ends that you won't be able to use for the grill, but there's no reason why you can't season that up, do a quick fry in the pan, and it'll be equally as good. All right, our braciole are ready. We're gonna take them out to the grill, but before we do that, we wanna oil them up a little bit and get them seasoned up with some salt and pepper. So be generous. A little kosher salt, cracked black pepper. Get them on the plate. Handle these gently now, because they might have a tendency to unravel, so you want to be careful. And we want to season the other side. And we're ready for the grill. Okay, folks, our grill is nice and hot. We're ready to go on with our braciole. Now, you want to set your grill up for a 2-zone cook. By that, we want either your gas or your charcoal to to one side, one half, and leave the other side, the other half, open, because we want to do an initial sear and then move it off away from the flame to finish cooking throughout. Now these pinwheels, as you can see, they're a good 1.5 to 2 inches thick. So, and because they're stuffed, it's not going to require the length of time you would think they would if it was a steak. It doesn't have a lot of muscle mass throughout, so the heat penetration is going to be a lot quicker than you think. You want to get them on, give them a good sear. Whoa. With our 2 zones set up, we're going to get these seared off on both sides, and then we're going to remove them to the other side where there is no flame to finish cooking through. All right, we're ready for the turn. Here's one. There's 2. Here we got 3. We're going to let these go a little bit longer, as the flame on this side is not quite as hot. I want you to be careful, folks, when you're turning these, because they are tied, they are rolled. Be very, very careful. You don't want to get too aggressive with it. You don't want everything to kind of unravel on the grill. Let these go a little bit longer. All right, we got them off the flame, and now it's going to shut the lid, give it about another 2 or 3 minutes, and we should be good. All right, folks, when we move these over to the empty zone with no grill, no charcoal, no fire, because they were so thick after doing the initial searing process, some of the edges were still red, but that's okay. Once we move it and slide it over, they will burn up eventually, as you can see. If you tried to cook this the entire time on a direct flame, you'd only end up burning the exterior and not fully cooking it through. All right, folks, these have been on the grill for about maybe 5 or 6 minutes. We're looking good. We got some nice caramelization, some nice grill marks. I think we're ready to plate them up. There you are. Beef Florentine Pinwheels Braciole. Pinwheel bracioles are off the grill. We're ready to dive in. Let's snip this string. Nothing left to do but give it a taste. The meat is so tender. It's got the creaminess from the provolone cheese, the freshness from the spinach, and that saltiness from the prosciutto just ties it all in together. Absolutely delicious. Give it a try.